Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Good evening and welcome to the campus of Edward Waters University for another Women's Premier Soccer League matchup between your Jacksonville Armada and the Seminole Ice, making the trip up to Northeast Florida from Orlando. We are at Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium as the girls in blue get set to take on the Seminole Ice. Stuart Weber here alongside Louis Lorandi for tonight's broadcast, and tonight's matchup is the only time that the Armada will play a team for the second time this season.
Yeah, earlier in the season, the girls in blue get that win away in Seminole Ice. We'd like to see them do the same thing here tonight. This
is the regular season finale for the girls in blue. There are quite a few things that need to happen in order for this team to continue playing in the postseason. We'll certainly go over that, but let's start with your starting lineup for the home team, your Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 squad. And once again, in net, it'll be the Tokoi Creek grad, rising sophomore at Tennessee, Morgan Weaver. Her defense consists of Kylie Overstreet, Caitlin Seaborn, Avery Upton, and Mia Duncan. In the midfield, Maddie Williams, Tally Hines, and Liz Ann Fogarty. And up top, Gianna Ramirez, Nancy Almanza, and Hayden Petrick. That is your starting 11 for the Jacksonville Armada. And the girls in blue, coming off a victory right here on this very same field 7 days ago. They picked up a 3-1 win against the Florida Gulf Coast Dutch Lions. Bit of a test for the Armada, but they passed.
Yeah, a lot of those youngsters who were in that squad last week getting that dub won't be in the squad this week. They're away at Nationals for ECNL, so those veteran players are going to step up big tonight.
So it is a big one here tonight against the Seminole Ice for the Jacksonville Armada, and here's why. You look at the conference standings, and the girls in blue, well, they need to win. That's the easy part. Go get a victory over Seminole Ice. Keep yourself alive for a conference championship. Now, they also need a little help. They need the West Florida Flames to beat Florida Premier. That matchup happening as we speak. And then on Sunday, they need FC Primetime to go beat West Florida. So a few things have to happen. Also goal differential. That too. Can't forget about that part as well. But we will certainly keep an eye on that. And look, we're just here to enjoy the final home match of the season for the girls in blue. And we will see how it goes at Edward Waters University. Let's check out your starting lineup for the visitors, the Seminole Ice from down in the Orlando area. But the goalkeeper actually quite familiar with this part of the state. Krista Avery, a rising sophomore at the University of North Florida right here in Jacksonville. Her back line consists of Elizabeth Corrigan, Jada Silvest, Haley Mercero, and Ella Simpson. In the midfield, Katsi Bengoa, Alicia Cohen, and Maria Tregonson. And up top, Ava Cooker, Georgie McNeil, and Jalen Haas. That is your starting lineup for the Seminole Ice as they get set to take on the Jacksonville Armada. It's our final regular season match of the season for the girls in blue. We've got it coming up for you live next right here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start this WPSL matchup. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Campion Law will fight for you. till the bitter end. We suffered several injuries along with the car being totaled. They checked on us literally almost every day for the next 2 weeks, just making sure, are you okay? Do you need anything? Even Chris was texting us, like, what can we get you? Campione cares.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
And welcome back to Edward Waters University, Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium, the host for tonight's Women's Premier Soccer League matchup between your Jacksonville Armada and the Seminole Ice in the regular season finale for both teams. Both teams wrapping up the season here in Jacksonville tonight, and this is a good way to put a bookend on the season as they met in the opening matchup of the season as well, a 3-0 victory for Jacksonville. Let's check out some of your keys to the match between these two squads this evening. And look, we said it last week, we'll say it again, handle your business. There's a lot out there for the Jacksonville Armada should things fall the way they need to fall, but nothing matters if you don't go and get yourself a victory against the Seminole Ice. Second key, be a veteran. This is a veteran lineup that head coach David Goff and his staff have put out there for tonight's matchup, and they need to go and prove it. Showcase the fact that they played some high-level, both international soccer as well as college soccer. So be a veteran and go get the job done. And, hey, go out on top. This is it for the home schedule. Your final chance to perform for the fans of Section 904 who are here all season long. And a few of them are even down in Naples right now following the men's squad who's playing 2 matches in 3 days down in Southwest Florida. So let's go out on top and take care of business here at home against the Seminole Ice. Taking a look at Morgan Weaver there. Once again, your goalkeeper, the rising sophomore, headed to Tennessee this upcoming fall. So just a few short weeks away from her going back to Knoxville. Of course, a Tocoy Creek grad between the pipes for the girls in blue, who also feature all 3 of their international players in the lineup this evening. Maddie Williams, Tally Hines, as well as Caitlin Seaborn, a pair from Wales, as well as Tally from Northern Ireland. So they will make their presence known throughout the course of this matchup. Excited to watch this one tonight unfold as the whistle blows. And we are underway at Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium. Seminole will be wearing the gray tops with purple shorts and going from left to right. Jacksonville in the all blue as they force a turnover. Lizanne Fogarty, middle of the field, sends it to Nancy Almanza, but she'll lose it to the Seminole Ice, at least momentarily. See if Seminole can push forward with Kylie Overstreet being a bulldog down there. The defender does that. That is one of her strong suits we've certainly seen this season. Here's the ball forward from Ramirez, centering, looking for Nancy Almanza. It'll fall all the way back to Overstreet. KO doing some battle with some of those gray jerseys. They let them play a little physical here early on in this matchup. Some bumps there could define the way that this match takes place here over the course of 90 minutes on the campus of EWU. Appreciate everybody joining us on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's been a pleasure to do all these matchups all summer long as Maddie Williams takes it away. She tries to center it. Knocked away by Seminole. Will be a throw-in for the Armada. We've had all the home matchups thus far this season and haven't witnessed a loss just yet on either side for the men's or women's squads here at EWU. Each team coming home with the draw at one point. As you see the long throw in there from Fogarty. Brought down by Almanza. Cleared out by Seminole. As you may recognize, that purple from Orlando City. A lot of the players from that youth system of Orlando City on the ladies' side. Meanwhile, a lot of blue for Jacksonville and a lot of those players from that Jacksonville FC system. So many of these players have faced off against each other over the years now, be it in different club level competitions. As you see Avery Upton get a crack at it and send it up long. Again, Almanza just putting on that pressure. In case you missed it, our starting lineup for Jacksonville: Weaver and net, Overstreet, Seaborn, Upton, and Duncan on the back line, Williams, Hines, and Fogarty in the midfield, Ramirez, Almanza, and Petrick up top for the girls in blue. A lot of veteran players on this roster, and there's a reason for that. Many of the younger players, the high school age players, all compete on ECNL teams as well. There's a lot of overlap when it comes to these different leagues and club teams and summer teams that the girls get a chance to play with and perform for over the course of a calendar year, and big ECNL matchups going on as we speak. Here's a chance for Seminole, diffused momentarily by Overstreet. Also, Brooke Bunton, by the way, competing for the Team USA Youth National Under 17. So congrats to Brooke for that call up. We'll see if she's able to get on the field tomorrow. They're playing in Kansas City, against Japan. So a good opportunity there for Brooke Bunton that we'll certainly keep track of here on Action Sports Jacks. Here's a chance now for Jacksonville. Pushing ahead is Nancy Almanza, centering ball, brought down, but over the top by Hayden Petrick. Golden opportunity, but looks like the flag may have been up there on the far side anyhow. Nonetheless, an early chance for Jacksonville here at home. I am Stuart Weber. Appreciate everybody joining us on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Let me know where you're watching from. I see one tweet. As mentioned, our Section 904 gang, a few of them down in Naples watching tonight's matchup. Appreciate everybody down there for tuning us in on actionsportsjacks.com or the Action News Jacks Now app. Nice takeaway by the Armada, and then a foul committed. So Tally Hines gets fouled there in the middle of the field, and it'll set up a free kick opportunity for Jacksonville. But yeah, let me know on Twitter. @StewartASJacks is the way to do it, or Instagram. I now have an Instagram account of @StewartASJacks as well. Decided to make one for the brand, for the people, as we do here. Free kick chance. This is Caitlin Seaborn, the 19-year-old from Wales, getting set to take it. Defender. Been used quite a bit on these free kick opportunities. Good chance for Jacksonville in the 5th minute. This ball going towards net, but just a bit too high. Hits the wrong crossbar. Hits that football crossbar. It'll be up and over for a goal kick as we remain scoreless 5 minutes into this matchup between Seminole and Jacksonville. For a long time, we've had that rivalry between the bold city and the beautiful city. I'm not going to go soap opera on you with the bold and the beautiful here, but Jacksonville has always enjoyed their competitions against that city from down south in Orlando, as we've had here with Seminole Ice, who have been, without a doubt, one of the bigger competitors for Jacksonville over its 2-year history here in the WPSL, this Sunshine Conference. Ball falls to Liz Ann Fogarty. She'll drop it back, and heavy pressure there, but held onto by Maddie Williams. She'll send it over the top, but too far. No players making a run there for Jacksonville here in the early going as we remain scoreless. Louis Lorandi joining me here in the broadcast booth. And Louis, we mentioned at the top of the show just the veteran leadership on this starting 11 and how that needs to be the way they play this matchup tonight. They need to play like a group that has played quite a few matches over the course of their career, and we will certainly get a chance to see it here for Jacksonville over the course of this 90 minutes.
Yeah, there's a couple of these girls who were on this squad last year who are very familiar playing with each other. You have Kylie Overstreet, Liz Ann Fogarty, Mia Duncan, and some of these new girls just gelled in so well together. Some veteran heads who are just joining the team this year, Nancy Almanza, Gianna Ramirez, who have stepped up to the plate and done so wonderfully this season.
Jacksonville earns a throw in here on the near side. They send it long, headed down. Now top of the 18, cleared away momentarily by Seminole. But Caitlin Seaborn able to gather for Jacksonville, and we'll see if they send it back into the middle. They do. Here's Nancy Almanza. Liz Ann Fogarty there in the middle as well, back in the lineup tonight after missing last week's matchup. And Liz Ann has scored in just about every single match thus far this season, so see if she can kind of keep that momentum going here tonight as there's some of that physical play finally getting a foul called on Jacksonville. Will be a free kick for the Ice.
Yeah, Liz Ann has scored in 6 out of the 7 matches she has played in this season. So pretty impressive from the number 6. It's fantastic to see her step back into that role. But, man, I got to say, Landry Bauer last weekend took that captain's armband and really played that number 8 role really well.
Among those players in ECNL duty here this evening, we also mentioned Brooke Bunton with the U.S. national team. Wishing them all well as they showcase their skills all around the country here over the coming weeks. And a lot of these players will be headed back to their college clubs and in the next couple of weeks, and looking forward to the fall and hoping to use some of these things they learned over the course of this summer with head coach David Goff. Takes out Nancy Almanza, and they're going to bring it back and call it a free kick back to 40.
Shout out to our strength and conditioning team. They really do a really good job putting together a plan throughout the season that they continue on through their college career and just keep building that muscle and, you know, all those different elements to make their game better.
Not a bad idea there by Mia Duncan. Actually sent it past the entire defense. Couldn't connect with Gianni Ramirez there on that long ball. Results in a throw in deep in their own end for Seminole, which Jacksonville will take advantage of and take that ball right back. Here's Maddie Williams in the middle of the field, near side. She'll drop it back to her fellow Welsh woman. I never did line up whether it's because it's a Welshman. Would it be a Welsh woman? Here's a giveaway from Avery Upton. Coming the other way is Alicia Cohen now for the Seminole Ice. Has help on that far side from Ava Cooker, but can't quite get the pass out to number 5 and does get it right back though. Jacksonville, no problem there. This one will roll across the end line and be a goal kick for the Armada. But first real chance there for the Seminole Ice. Simpson back ahead to Haas.
Quite connect on it to put that in frame.
We are a little over 10 minutes into this one. Appreciate everybody joining us as both teams really settling in for tonight's WPSL matchup. We're trying to play some long balls here early on and see if they can maybe get one past that back line of Seminole. And as you see that ball knocked away from Mia Duncan. Here's a centering pass. Good opportunity for Seminole. Still alive. And Morgan Weaver able to get back to it. For Jacksonville makes the stop and then scrambles to pick it up herself.
First time Weaver's been, gotten out of position a little bit. She's been really solid in net all throughout the season so far for the girls in blue, and that big boot is definitely a plus.
Yeah, big boot looking downfield for Jacksonville, trying to jumpstart the offense. One nice thing about having a tall keeper is in those sorts of situations, maybe for a shorter keeper, you don't want them to come off their line, but if you can make yourself as big as a 6'3" goalkeeper can coming towards a potential goal scorer, that's a huge asset to have.
It's definitely a huge asset, but we saw it last week in the men's matchup. That goalkeeper got a little too far.
It worked so well for the visitors a week ago in NPSL action. The boys in blue, by the way, done with their regular season home schedule. They'll have a road matchup tomorrow at Naples, next week at New Orleans, but they have already clinched a home playoff matchup that'll be right back here at Edward Waters on July 9th. So that's the men's July 9th. So that's the men's. We'll see you here at Edward Waters University or we'll see you here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Long throw in from Liz and Fogarty finds its way in your box. It is still alive in there. Hayden Petrick kind of overran that one and didn't get a chance to put a foot on it. And now Seminole breaks the other way. This is Ava Cooker, 19-year-old from Boca Raton, rising sophomore at Stetson, with a little centering ball. But Jacksonville will take it away, and Avery Upton, the Florida Gator, sends it long.
A little bit of a different look for the girls in blue tonight. A couple players playing not in their usual position as Gianna Ramirez is on the break here. Gianna breaks away. Still, Gianna Ramirez, shot!
Just wide of the net, off the defender's head. Sets up a corner kick for Jacksonville, nearly an own goal. Hard to see that one going in off of Gianna's boot, simply because of the angle and the momentum pulling her away from goal. Was hoping to find a teammate there in the middle of the field, but what a tremendous job by the former Creekside Knight, now a Florida Atlantic burrowing owl, and burrows her way through a pair of defenders, just muscled her way through there. Very nice play by number 19 for the Jacksonville Armada. Here is Caitlin Seaborn set to take this corner. It's a high in-swinging ball, dangerous ball, headed up and over the top, and they're going to say that was touched by Jacksonville, and a goal kick for the Ice.
It was a fantastic delivery from the center back there, and even better from number 19, Gianna Ramirez, in that play before. That was a fantastic solo run, breaking in between two defenders, finding the space, and beating that goalkeeper, just couldn't put it on frame.
If you can dial up corner kicks like that every time for me, I will absolutely take it, because keeper found herself in a bad spot on the near post, over her head, and when that happens, you're just at the mercy of who's going to get it on frame, or you in trouble. And in that case, unable to get it on frame was Jacksonville, as Kylie Overstreet, surrounded by gray jerseys. I got a jersey tug there. But no call, and here Seminole will take it, at least for a moment, before Liz Ann Fogarty intercedes and says, yeah, I'm just going to take that back for Jacksonville. The captain sends it long now, middle of the field, trying to find a running Nancy Almanza, and finds her way back to number 6. This time she sends it back up the middle, and this time does find Almanza to Tally Hines, looking to the near side, and Gianna Ramirez, and that one will go out of reach and into the hands of Krissa Avery, the UNF Osprey. Plays her college ball right here in Jacksonville, originally from Lakeland, Florida, but spends her college days here in Jacksonville at the University of North Florida.
The Lady Ospreys had a fantastic soccer season this year. They just released their schedule for this season. A couple big-time matchups on there if you want to get out to Hodges Stadium. As the ball goes out of play and into section 904, as the flags still flying. 8 WPSL matches later. Trying to see if I can see Mr. Bagpipes. I think I see the hat, so possibly, but we'll definitely get you a word in the Bagpipes. If the girls in blue score, I'm sure we'll hear them if they are here. Little discussion on which way that throw-in will go. Oh, it'll be a free kick for the Armada. Captain Liz Ann Fogarty will step up to take this free kick as those blue jerseys head up inside that orange 18-yard box.
This ball gets sent long up towards the middle. Not a bad idea in the middle from Nancy Almanza. Falls to Gianna Ramirez, and they're going to say the flag is up and an offside called against Jacksonville. You don't like that call, Lou?
I mean, I am not in line with the referee, but man, Gianna was sitting there for quite some time. I know that offsides line gets set as soon as that ball gets played, but a lot of those gray jerseys drop back once that ball was lofted up in the air. So good look from Gianna Ramirez, trying to be sneaky on that back post, just called offsides.
For some reason, they don't consult with us on these calls, Louis. I don't understand. We're all the way up here in the booth. We got this great perspective. We're watching the action. We're not at all biased towards one team or the other.
That's like when I'm in a baseball stadium. I love calling balls and strikes, even though, you know, I might be down the right field line.
Yes, if you saw it, it's got to be true. That's how that works, especially with offside calls, without a doubt. Always one of the hardest things. So hard that they came up with a robot to try and figure it out with VAR. What's your thoughts on VAR? You pro or anti?
if you're going to do it, you have to do it down to the inch, I guess, right? That's what the new rule is. So if you're going to do it, it's got to be the exact call in the field. And, you know, that's how we're going to go. Robot umpires soon, VAR in soccer.
We get the first substitutes for Seminole Ice.
Amy Zona coming on for the visitors, as well as Aaliyah Roberts. So a pair of subs for the girls in gray. Elizabeth Corrigan coming off.
We don't usually see visiting teams here come to Jacksonville with a full bench.
Yeah.
But the Ice come up, make that short 2-hour drive up, and stack out that bench. In the WPSL, you get 20 game day rostered players.
And rolling substitutions, so those players who came off do have the opportunity to go back into the match at any point and can go in and out as much as they would like. That is up to the coach. Here's Caitlin Seaborn under a little bit of pressure and nearly gives it away, and does, and this is a goal. Goal scored by Jalen Haas on the giveaway by Caitlin Seaborn allows the Orlando native, who's a rising sophomore at UCF, to put it into the back of the net. And Jacksonville will have to work from behind here at Edward Waters University on an early goal from Jalen Haas in the 19th minute. And that's the kind of mistake you need to avoid in this level of soccer. These players are veterans. Lots of college players on both sides for tonight's matchup, and that is just something you cannot do. If you're going to get it back to your keeper, you got to get it back there quickly and allow her to boot it out. Tough lesson to be learned, but that's what we do here. We learn some lessons. As Jacksonville now finds itself down 1-0. So we'll see how they play from behind over the course of this remaining first half and beyond. This ball sent all the way back to Morgan Weaver. Weaver under pressure, forced to just get rid of it. Jacksonville looking a little out of sorts here early in the first half. Now down 1-0. And we'll have a throw in for the visitors here on the near side from substitute Aaliyah Roberts. She sends it over that back line. This will fall all the way back to Weaver. And Weaver just put in a tough spot there. Here she'll send it long. And now Jacksonville with Tally Hines in the middle of the field, dispossessed by Tregonson. She'll send it long. Seaborn intercepts before it gets to Jalen Haas, the goal scorer. Here's Overstreet. And well done by Roberts to knock it away. Roberts, a rising sophomore at Florida Southern. Jacksonville earns this throw in. Well done by Liz Ann Fogarty. She will send it long to Almanza. Almanza has help there from Ramirez, but Haley Mercereau takes it away, at least momentarily. Jacksonville gets it right back. Kylie Overstreet, confident with that ball at her feet. Finds Liz Ann Fogarty. Fogarty ahead to Almanza, but it's intercepted by Mercereau, and back and forth we go here in the middle of the field. A little bit of pinball, as we like to call it from time to time. Another giveaway and a foul committed by Maddie Williams. Be a free kick coming for the Seminole Ice.
Mistake puts the Seminole Ice ahead. Armada have played really well so far this matchup, but Seminole has stepped up to the task and really handled this team well. I know this is not how that first game went down in Central Florida, and the girls are going to want to turn it around very soon.
Seaborn overruns the player for Seminole. This allows Haas to make a run into the box. The cross knocked away, still alive, falls to Weaver. Weaver goes down to her knees to grab it. But another opportunity there for Haas. As mentioned, rising sophomore at Tampa, formerly at UCF.
The Spartans, UT, Division II baseball champs this year.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Your fun fact of the day.
Yeah. Another ball sent long. See if Jacksonville maybe has to kind of switch things up a little bit and try to build a little bit through this midfield. They have some really talented players in that midfield with Liz Ann Fogarty, Tally Hines, Maddie Williams. But a lot of the offense has been trying to go over the top and and get around a defense which has some tall trees there. Maybe that's part of the thought process with a few 5'10 players, some 5'8 players for Seminole. Maybe with that height, the game plan was, let's see if we can go over the top and let the speed run under the ball. But here we are down 1-0 midway through this first half.
Yeah, you mentioned Tally Hines. She came in last home matchup and played a little bit of a different role than she's used to. She's used to being an out-and-out number 9, a striker. But she's been asked by the coaching staff to drop a little deeper and play in the midfield, play more of that number 10 role, and rotate with Liz Ann Fogarty going upfield and making those plays forward.
Here is Seminole sending long, getting behind the defense. Cross towards the middle, but right to Weaver. Brought in by the keeper for Jacksonville. Appreciate everybody joining us here tonight on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. You're at home for the Jacksonville Armada all summer long. If you're watching us on actionsportsjacks.com, you can also watch us on your smart TV. Just download the Action News Jacks Now app and then click on that Action Sports Jacks 24/7 link. It's my preferred way of watching on the big screen. It can be your way as well.
Seminole has really settled in this game as they give the ball over the midfield.
Fogarty looking for Almanza on the far side, but Silvest does well to shield that one and earn a throw in for Seminole. Take this throw in into the middle of the field. Jacksonville putting that pressure on as they have been doing here in this first half, and in the first 5 to 10 minutes that was paying off, but as of late a lot of this match has been played on the Jacksonville side of the field. Let's see if Jacksonville can string a few passes together and get an opportunity on goal and put Krista Avery to work. Thus far, it's either been over her head, not quite on frame. Long throw in from Fogarty, headed into the middle of the field. Little over the head attempt, and that'll go across the end line for a goal kick as Gianna Ramirez gave it a look.
Fogarty with that long throw, one of those intangibles. Those intangible
intangibly
skills.
Rich. She's intangibly rich, as James Gladstone would say.
Exactly. But often those throw-ins end up like corner kicks. The ball finds Gianna Ramirez one-on-one with an ice defender. Just couldn't put that overhead kick on frame.
Substitution now for Jacksonville. We mentioned a limited bench here this evening for the girls in blue as Tally Hines will get a quick breather. And Sophia Pontieri getting set to come in for the Armada. Other options on the bench for this coaching staff tonight include Sedona Danchu, Caitlin Scherer, and then a couple keepers in Savannah Yerger and Emily Poucher.
Pontieri, the future Osprey. So another player staying here in North Florida, from North Florida.
Former Fleming Island Golden Eagle, so must really like birds. Golden Eagles to the Ospreys.
Good move.
What's the fly high, man? That's all there is to it.
She's really added a lot to her game from this year to last year. Has really done well with how she's been able to shoot the ball. Her power she gets behind those kicks has been really impressive to watch this year.
Seminole, by the way, making a substitution as well. Addison Crone in for Alicia Cohen. So visitors taking advantage of that deep bench that they brought up here to Jacksonville this evening. Liz Ann Fogarty steps in front of the ball, and now here come the Armada. Long ball sent ahead. Gianna Ramirez is going to catch up to it. Has some help in the middle with Pontieri and Almanza. Maddie Williams as well, making a run. Here's Gianna taking it towards the end line and earns a corner kick. So set piece opportunity for the girls in blue after a good run from the 19-year-old from Creekside High School a while ago, a couple years ago. Former Creekside. Now if
He's done really well up top for the Jacksonville Armada this season, playing sort of that left wing role, but often her and Almanza switch into that number 9 role. They play really well off of each other.
3 Creekside players, by the way, in the starting 11 here today. One of the top programs in our area. Here's the corner kick, looking for options, still alive, and up and over the top from Maddie Williams. They're going to say deflection. Jacksonville will get a chance to do it all over again. Another corner kick.
These set pieces are going to be huge for Jacksonville tonight. They can't find the ball in the back of the net on a normal out-and-out play, as Hayden Petrick will once again be taking this in-swinger.
Onto her right foot and right on target, but cleared at least momentarily by Seminole. Comes back to Petrick, trying to get it towards that face of goal. Can't quite make solid contact. It'll go across the end line, and another goal kick for the Ice.
Yeah, these corner kicks haven't been too bad for the girls in blue tonight. Just no one able to connect on the end of it.
Multiple would it be Ices?
Ices?
Icy? Are they Ices? Ices? I think Ice is probably plural for Ice as well. It's one of those that doesn't need an S, much like the Armada. You don't generally tend to have Armadas, as we get a big collision here between Aaliyah Roberts and Kylie Overstreet, and Overstreet given a yellow. So first yellow card of the match, as Aaliyah Roberts down in quite a bit of pain here for the Seminole Ice. As the training staff will come and get a look at the rising sophomore at Florida Southern. We'll take another look at this one. Just looked to be a hard collision there here on the near side of the field, as two players coming basically full speed, and a little low there from Kylie Overstreet trying to get a piece of the ball. Instead gets quite a bit of Aaliyah Roberts instead, and as mentioned, a yellow card, and they'll take this opportunity to get our first hydration break of the match, as both teams head to the sidelines while Roberts gets some medical attention. So Jacksonville, 29th minute, finds itself down 1-0 against the Seminole Ice. We mentioned they won the opening matchup in the regular season opener. That feels like ages ago, but just a couple months ago down in Central Florida. A 3-0 victory for Jacksonville in that one. If they want to do it again, they're going to have to come from behind this time, as you see Overstreet chatting with the coaching staff, assistant coach Jed Bowman coaching up his defender, trying to give some guidance here on the proper lines to take towards the ball. So here is another replay of this one, and Roberts absolutely able to get to it first, and then just a bit of a collision there. Kind of looked like their knees knocked, but definitely a foul, and probably a worthy yellow card there for Kylie Overstreet as we take another look at it here on the replay.
It's a shame that Kylie picks up this yellow card so early on in this match. She's a pivotal point to the defense, has started every single match this season in that left back position, has done so well. And the funniest part about KO is she might be one of the nicest girls on the team, so it's funny to watch her get shown a red card.
Yellow card.
Yellow card, excuse me. Yellow card. Yellow card. I don't want to give her a red just yet.
Don't speak.
I know.
Don't speak that into existence.
That was bad, Stuart.
Lewis.
That was bad.
Come on. You just saw the referee jerseys and you said, that's red. They're seeing red out there.
That's why.
That's got to be it, right? We'll go with it.
I'm a visual learner.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. So we mentioned before the match, first key, handle your business. First and foremost, you got to go out there and you got to get yourself 3 points and a victory here against Seminole before you worry about what else is happening around the WPSL. We're still trying to find out a score from that West Florida Flames and Florida Premier matchup. If anybody knows it, feel free to send me a tweet at Stuart A.S. Jacks. Happy to get an update on that one so that our viewers here can follow along with us. As you see, Jacksonville players getting together, discussing the game plan. Sophia Pontieri into the match, chatting with Gianna and Nancy. And for the restart, it'll be Seminole getting the free kick here on their own side of the field. I don't know what they're discussing there. How to kick the ball. Just kick it like that, right? Yeah. This is Haley Mercero, number 15 for Seminole.
Puts that ball up a yard.
Rising senior at UCF, number 15 here. A lot of UCF players, as one would expect. Katsi Bengoa, Maria Tregonson, Haley Mercero, Jada Silvest, all these players, UCF. Just the Knights, no longer the Golden Knights. They lost the gold. I don't know why. I liked it when they were the Golden Knights.
Like the Golden Hurricane, Tulsa.
Yeah. One of our players committed there, right?
Danny Stevens.
Danny Stevens on the men's side. He's going there this fall?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye out on the Tulsa squad. As this ball goes all the way across the end line, and goal kick for Jacksonville. Substitution, by the way, it was Corrigan coming back in for Roberts, as Roberts went to the sideline after that collision, getting looked at still by the training staff there on the far side. We'll have a substitution coming in for the Armada. Sedona Danchu into the matchup. Adding a little more help here up top for the Armada.
Got to keep those legs fresh up top for the pressure.
A giveaway there, but cleared out by Avery Upton. She'll send this thing long. Jacksonville doesn't have the numbers, but let's see if Nancy Almanza can make something happen. Sends it long. Finds Danchu, the substitute. She'll cut it back to the inside. Has Pontieri there. Instead, puts it on goal and into the arms of Krista Avery. At least for the first time, Avery forced to really grab it. Actually, looks like they've made a substitution as well in goal with Kiana Burgos.
Burgos under pressure.
That ball's knocked away by Jacksonville.
Seminole retains possession.
Not sure if they made that in-match substitution there in goal. I don't believe Burgos,
maybe during the water break.
I don't believe Burgos started. Yeah, maybe they're just going back and forth. As I'm fairly certain we saw Krista Avery in there earlier, and that is Kiana Burgos, a rising freshman at Newberry College, into the match. So, yeah, mid-half goal. You got to keep those goalkeepers fresh. I was going to say Krista Avery, I don't think touched the ball. I think everything went up and over or around the net, and not quite to her, as Nancy Almanza has it in the middle, sends forward to Gianna Ramirez. Ramirez unable to make that angle work as Burgos was coming on from goal.
Just that last piece of link-up play between Almanza and Ramirez.
How to find a way for those two to connect as this ball is headed long, and it's Weaver who will just knock it out of bounds and allow Jacksonville to reset.
Almanza's done a really good job playing that number 9 role, holding up that ball, turning around her defender, and trying to find those streaking wingers.
To the middle, this is Tregonson. Another one of those UCF players all the way back. She'll find Hannah Seiler, substitute into the match for Seminole. Ahead to the goal scorer Haas, now intercepted, and they're going to put the flag up for a throw in, Seminole. .36 minutes to play. Jacksonville finds itself down 1-0 as Jalen Haas able to take advantage of a turnover and score that opening goal in tonight's match. Here's a nice give and go from Haas, finding Amy Zona down towards the end line, and Zona able to earn a corner kick for the visitors. So Seminole will have its chance at a corner kick on the near side.
Yeah, this is a position the girls in blue haven't been in yet at home since that first home matchup against the West Florida Flames, where they went down 3-0.
We don't have to talk about the start of that one. We can talk about the finish. Of course, Jacksonville down 3-0 and then 4-1 in the 82nd minute. Scores 3 goals in the final stretch of that matchup to equalize.
Section 904 here in Jacksonville, as well as Naples, Florida, which I know they're watching that on the Action News Jax Now app.
Yeah. A little road trip. They love the away days. Although they would have rather had an Orlando away day this year than Naples. Unfortunately, that didn't work out in Club de Leon. Here's the corner kick. They play it short. Now sending it towards the box. Headed away. Still alive. Seaborn gets a piece of it. Still inside that 18, and everyone's trying to knock it clear, and there's a big slide, but it'll fall to Weaver. And Jacksonville will give it right back. throw-in coming for Seminole on the near side. Good opportunity there for Jacksonville, just a bit of a miss-hit from the keeper for the Armada.
That's a shame. Those transition chances are going to be huge, and catching the Seminole ice off guard, you're able to get those balls in behind the defenses. It looks like we're playing a lot of those over-the-top balls, trying to get over and around those girls in gray.
13 and 13 going head-to-head there. Tregonson as well as Pontieri. Deflects off of
North Florida, Central Florida.
That's right. Just UCF. They don't do Central anymore. Central stands for the C, but they don't like it when you call them Central Florida.
That was my first college, Stuart, University of Central Florida.
Was it called that at the time?
It was.
Not UCF?
Well, I guess UCF.
I think that's just athletically to say that, because the university knows who they are. Here is Ramirez on the near side, and once again, working her way through traffic ahead to Nancy Almanza. Almanza will send it on, and just a little too far away as another player finds himself down for Seminole ice here. This is number 21, Jada Silvestre.
That's the second time Ramirez has just split her defenders like that, and done it with such ease. That midfielder steps up last minute and unfortunately collides into number 19.
So Silvestre will get a look from the trainers. Silvestre, a 5'8" defender, rising sophomore at UCF. Made 14 starts a year ago for the Knights. Going to be helped off the field here by her college teammate Tregonson, as well as the training staff. And we have just about 7 minutes left in this first half of play. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis, but head coach David Goff still serving that red card suspension this evening?
He's actually at Nationals with ECNL.
All right.
He's the ECNL Jacksonville FC director.
I like yeah, I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
I believe he'll be coaching a couple games out there as well.
Yes. Leaving the staff in capable hands here this evening.
Jed Bowman stepping up.
Does he get the official interim tag tonight?
He does. He does. He gets that W or L on his record tonight.
No pressure, Jed. Of course, Jed, one of the star players, as this ball is knocked down and into the back of the net. Nancy Almanza just steps in front of the ball from Burgos, and it goes into the back of the net. Another mistake leads to another goal, but this time it's for the Jacksonville Armada, who put the ball into the back of the net. Out of nowhere, an equalizer. Let's take another look at that one, because Burgos trying to send it long, and you know how defenders always just jump in front of it, throw their foot up, and try to get a piece of it? That never works. Well, it did right there. I gotta say, that never works. But hey, Nancy Almanza says, you know what, I'm just gonna throw a boot up and see what happens. The Armada forward equalizes, and we got a whole new ball game here late in the first half as the equalizer comes from the 21-year-old headed to Mississippi State this upcoming fall. Going to go play in the SEC, but first, a big goal from Nancy Almanza, and Seminole now finds itself once again under pressure, forced at the last second to just knock this thing away.
Stuart, that's exactly what this team needs right before the half. A little boost of energy. Almanza has been all over that ice back line. It's nice to see her finally get that reward. And like you said, those flailing legs last minute usually don't turn into goals.
It never works. It does not work. And yet, here we are. Some good news, by the way, for Seminole. Aaliyah Roberts, first player who went down with that injury, able to get back into the match. So good to see. Not too serious on that yellow card that was handed to Petrick. Excuse me, not Petrick, Overstreet. And this is Roberts here on the near side. Loses her footing a bit, and it'll roll out of bounds for a Jacksonville throw-in. But good to see she is up, she is moving, and clear to go.
Plenty of substitutes on that Seminole ice bench, though.
Yeah, we've seen that all summer long from the Armada. I mean, they've done the same thing with those hockey line changes, as we like to call them. This ball sent ahead to Danchu. And now Jacksonville will gather, send it long. Pontieri in the middle of the field just bouncing off defenders trying to gather it, but Ice will clear here in the 43rd minute. Another long ball and being chased down for Seminole. This is Jalen Haas, the goal scorer. And now outside it goes to number 4, Alex Beck into the match. A deflection and across the end line. And they're going to say this went off a Jacksonville player, so corner kick for Seminole here on the far side. Now, as excited as you get from that equalizer, you cannot let up in these final few minutes of the first half and lose all that momentum that you just gained.
Yeah, Petrick has been battling with whatever left winger Seminoles decided to throw at her. Has been playing a really physical game down that right-hand side. Played a little further up earlier in the match, has now opted to play that right-back role.
Yeah, with Danchu coming in, they kind of slid Petrick back to maybe a more natural defensive midfield type position for the Appalachian State player. Here comes the corner. It's a high ball, headed. Oh, beautiful header. Goes up and over, but a terrific idea from Ella Simpson, defender for the Seminole Ice. Ella, one of those veteran players. We mentioned Jacksonville with its share of veterans. Ella competed in 97 games for Samford over the course of a 5-year career, scored 21 goals.
Wow.
And it was usually 4 or 5 just about every single season. So very consistent player, and I bet it's a header like that that helped her find the back of the net. Sophia Pontieri up ahead to Danchu. Danchu will send it back towards that corner. Making a run is Petrick. Here she is, sends across into the middle. Finds Danchu, but can't quite gather. And Seminole will have a chance to clear, and they do. All the way up to Jalen Haas.
Seminole really good about transitioning out of defense into offense. Finding these long balls. Upton gets there last minute. Weaver
kind of caught between the ability to grab it and have to knock it away. And
I think she could have picked that up.
To it. But you never want to risk it. You don't want to risk that, Lewis. Going to have 3 minutes of extra time, by the way. Still 1 minute here in regulation, but we'll have 3 minutes of extra time in this first half. Not unusual, considering we had that hydration break and the injury. I don't know. Do they count the hydration break against them in if they do, right?
I think they're
supposed to.
Yeah.
They should, because it's not soccer being played. Here's Caitlin Seaborn to the near side, and Kylie Overstreet. And she'll push this ball ahead. Well defended by Haas. I wonder if Haas has any Dutch descent. That's definitely a Dutch spelling with the 2 A's.
I was going to say, for guys that watch a lot of motorsports like you and I, Haas synonymous with it.
You're talking about like Haas Motorsports?
Yeah. NASCAR, Formula One.
You don't need to talk about their NASCAR team. Not very good. Formerly Stuart Haas, and then Tony said, "Yeah, I'm just going to go do drag racing. I don't need this in my life." Nearly a giveaway by Avery Upton, but regathers. But now here is Alicia Cohen for Seminole on that far side as we head into extra time in this first half. Ice send across, looking for Haas. Haas brings it down, still has a chance. Upton knocks it away, and this is going to be deflected off of Haas for a Jacksonville goal kick. But some nervy moments there as number 2 keeps finding opportunities with the ball inside that 18.
She's been their most dangerous player so far, Haas. She's been able to get around Kylie Overstreet and play those balls all the way across to her left winger in behind the defense. Luckily, only one of those balls have really been able to be tested by Weaver, but so far so good for the Armada.
She did score the goal.
Yes.
Yes, was able to convert on that opportunity. So you will take that if you're Haas for the visitors. Ball sent long, finds the head of Fogarty, and a big collision there between 4 bodies. Jacksonville gathers as Danchu drops back to Petrick. They're going to switch it all the way around to Weaver. Weaver has to watch out now. Here comes Haas. She'll send it long and across midfield, and gathered by Almanza. Ahead now to Gianna Ramirez. Ramirez gets a piece of it, and the flag was up on that play, as they're going to call offside here in extra time.
I think that one was even closer than the...
It might have been even closer. It looked like she was shoulder to shoulder with that defender as the ball was sent on by Almanza.
I'd have to agree with you there.
I'd need a microphone by Section 904, because they have as good of a view on that one as anybody would. And if he was wrong on that call, they would be letting him know it, without a doubt. Nice job by Maddie Williams to poke it past the defender, but Seminole regathers, and here's Katsi Bengoa. Bengoa up the middle of the field finds a streaking Alex Beck inside the box. Opportunity knocked down by Weaver. What a save by Morgan Weaver.
Nervy moments here in the dying moments of the second half. These balls in behind the Armada back line have been lethal tonight for the Seminole Ice.
Does the line judge on this side have one? You know, they have a flag over here. I'm just wondering. We've seen quite a few offside calls on the other side. Just haven't seen quite so many. And look, maybe Seminole's just timing those very well because they're getting behind the defense and sending that ball long. As you see a slip there by Avery Upton, unable to make full contact. Here in the final few moments of this first half, they send it all the way back to Burgos. If I'm Jacksonville, I'm putting my boot up every time she tries to kick it. You never know.
Both goals from both teams have come from capitalizing on mistakes from the back line. So going to be interesting to see if one of these teams can put together a nice piece of play and put one in the back of the net.
This one will be called a foul on Jacksonville and a free kick taken by Seminole. Getting close to that final whistle here in the first half. Flag is up on the near side, by the way, so line judge does have a flag over here. Found it. It was in the pocket. Just had it in the back pocket, just holding on to it until the last moments of this first half. Should get probably one more boot here and then on our way to halftime. Right where we started in a tie matchup. Still, we'll see. Hayden Betrick sends it long. Headed down, a little look at the watch. Still waiting to see. Now ahead they go to Haas. We're going to play on here. Well into this fourth minute of extra time. Ball sent through the middle. And Weaver will gather. And there's the whistle for the half. I was waiting for that. But fourth minute of extra time added by our head official. And we head to the break. 1-1. We got ourselves a ball game here, folks. All square in this WPSL Sunshine Conference matchup. We're going to take a quick break here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. When we come back, we'll have your first half highlights, as well as a look around the league. Check out the WPSL scoreboard. Remind you of those playoff possibilities. And we'll check in with the men's squad as well down in Naples. All that's coming up next right here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
I can tell you, Campion cares. The team at Campion, they showed me all the care for me. They called me in the morning. Hey, Mr. Valius, are you okay? What do you want? What do you need? Don't hesitate to call. Anytime, we're here for you. It's like people who know you, they treat you like family. So that's made me confident. So then I say, okay, you know what? I leave everything on them, and they take care.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jax 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jags, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jax Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjax.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jax 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop. Oh, now to Berkeley. Berkeley takes a rip from distance. Oh, what a goal!
Guess who's back?
Get your tickets at JacksonvilleArmada.com.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
And welcome back to Edward Waters University. Tonight's WPSL matchup between Jacksonville and Seminole, currently tied at 1 goal apiece. And welcome into the broadcast booth. Stuart Weber here alongside Louis Lorandi, and entertaining first half. Obviously the visitors from Seminole go ahead early on a mistake by Jacksonville, and sure enough they give it right back on a mistake by the Ice late in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting matchup. Both teams have gotten really good looks at goal, just haven't put them away, and the only goals, like you mentioned tonight, coming from mistakes.
Yeah, let's take a look at those first half highlights, and this was the giveaway. Just a backwards pass by Seaborn, trying to find Weaver, unable to get it to her keeper, and Jalen Haas takes advantage. Then on the other side, you see Burgos, the substitute keeper, trying to clear, and Nancy Almanza just throws a boot up, steps in front of it, and the deflection goes into the back of the net. Let's take another look at that one. This never works. We keep saying it, but you just generally throw your leg up there and say, what's going to happen? Well, that's what can happen, and well, now you're going to keep doing that forever.
Yeah, the ball finds the bottom studs of Nancy Almanza, who's been playing a really good hold-up play all night, and she's able to convert.
See a great save there from Morgan Weaver, keeper for Jacksonville. Has had to make some saves here in this first half because Seminoles found themselves behind that back line of Jacksonville a few times. Here's another opportunity. As you see, it's knocked away, and this one cleared off the line by Hayden Petrick. But Weaver comes off her line and makes herself big, and that's what you have to do in these situations.
We've seen Weaver pull off some massive saves throughout the season. Tonight she's going to have to come up big to make sure Seminole keeps that 1 in the scorebook.
So we find ourselves tied up 1-1 at the half. Take a look at your first half stats, and Seminoles had more shots on goal. Certainly they've had more of those sorts of opportunities. Both teams with a few set-piece chances on the corner. The 1 yellow card on Kylie Overstreet, so she's certainly going to have to watch her play in this second half because this roster doesn't really feature quite too many defensive replacements for Jacksonville. So if you're Kylie Overstreet, you kind of have to play with a little bit of caution as folks have made their way out here to Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium to check out the Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 side. Let's take a look at the Around the League scoreboard. And we mentioned in the pre-match show what needs to happen for the Fleet to win the Sunshine Conference. Well, first of all, you got to beat Seminole. That's first and foremost. Get the win here tonight at home. Then you need West Florida to beat Florida Premier. That match supposed to start at 6 this evening. We believe there may have been a weather delay. We're trying to find out. Current website still says 0-0. We're keeping our eyes peeled because that matters to us here in Jacksonville as well. If you know the score for that one, by the way, shoot me a line. At Stuart ASJax on Twitter or Instagram. I will certainly pass that along to our viewers here. You got a Saturday matchup there. The Dutch Lions hosting the Fusion. And then on Sunday, the Ice right back at it for their regular season finale as they will play at home against AGC football. And FC Primetime in the final match of the season, we need them to beat the West Florida Flames. If that happens, Jacksonville is tied with West Florida, and then the Armada need to have a better goal differential than the Flames.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it, Lewis. That's all we're asking here.
Like we said in the beginning of this matchup, we first got to take care of our business ourselves. That final game between Primetime and the Flames being held in Nova Southeastern University. So going to be a big-time matchup there Sunday to finish off the Sunshine Conference here in the Women Premier Soccer League.
And that's the thing about this league, right, is one team will advance out of this conference onto the playoffs. So we'll see who it ends up being a little bit later on tonight. I did want to mention one note from the world of women's soccer, and this happened last night. Shout out to Avery Patterson. Patterson there, you see heading the ball into the back of the net. Bowles grad scoring for the U.S. women's national team. This is history for Jacksonville because she becomes the first Jacksonville player to score for the U.S. women's national team. Now, you've had Morgan Gautrat, but she's up from Sea Island. So we claim her locally, but not technically Jacksonville, right? Certainly a big moment there for Avery Patterson scoring this goal for the U.S. women's national team. We talk about the U.S. teams as well as all soccer on Fleet and Footy. We do it every Thursday at 2 o'clock on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. So wherever you're watching this match right now, tune back in Thursday at 2. We'll be right back at it. Lewis is headed up to Atlanta this weekend to go catch a little FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami taking on PSG. You're excited?
Yeah, the GOAT returns to A-Town to take on his former team, Paris Saint-Germain. It's going to be a big-time matchup. Club World Cup has come with a lot of surprises so far this season.
All right, so we'll certainly talk about that, as well as the men's team. Speaking of the men's team in the MPSL, we'll give you an update on the boys in blue. That is coming up next right here on the halftime show as we take a quick break on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. We'll be right back. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is down. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Campion Law will fight for you till the bitter end. We suffered several injuries along with the car being totaled. They checked on us literally almost every day for the next 2 weeks, just making sure, are you okay? Do you need anything? Even Chris was texting us, like, what can we get you? Campion cares.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Shacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget, the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports all the time.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Hrvojevic stepped into that role really, really well. We've obviously had a few number 9s throughout the season, but haven't ever had a player score 4 goals.
Yeah, some good insight there from Louis Lorandi on Fleet and Footy. We do it every Thursday at 2 o'clock. Certainly come join us next time as we'll review this game, as well as the Jacksonville Armada men's side. As we welcome you back to Edward Waters University. We are all square at the half, 1-1. Nancy Almanza providing the 40th minute equalizer for the girls in blue after Seminole scored the opening goal here in the first half. And welcome inside the broadcast booth. Stuart Weber here alongside Louis Lorandi, bringing you all the action tonight on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7. That's why we call it action.
Makes sense.
Bring the action.
I like it.
That's what we do here. Let's talk about the boys in blue, shall we? They are on a road trip. 2 matches, 3 nights. Got it started with 3 points here last night and did exactly what they had to do, getting that victory on the road against Global Soccer Pathways.
Yeah, it was a tough win out there in Naples for the boys in blue. Sometimes this GSP team gives them a hard time. A missed PK, but you put those 3 big chances away and get the dub. Those 3 points are crucial in this end-of-season matchup.
Well, look, it was still 1-0 in about the 74th minute, and then here in the 90th minute, you have Marky Hrvojevic, who scored 4 in the last home match, gets another one, his 5th on the season with that header, and that was the final touch of the game as they blew the full-time whistle right after that. Jacksonville halfway there in Naples. 1 win down, 1 to go as they now head, well, to the exact same field tomorrow night. They play against Naples United, and you see why that's a big matchup. Look at those goal differentials. These have been the 2 dominant teams in the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference this season. Jacksonville plus 25, Naples plus 24. We mentioned that win last night automatically clinched a home playoff game for the boys in blue. That will be right back here July 9th on the campus of Edward Waters University and on actionsportsjacks.com. But first, they have to take on Naples United. Now, if you get at least a draw tomorrow, you automatically clinch the number 1 overall seed for the entire conference, or a draw in the finale on the road at the New Orleans Jester. So you can tell Jacksonville's got a little bit of a head start here trying to clinch that top overall seed, but they also have their eyes on bigger things when it comes to the overall standings. Take a look at the weekend schedule inside the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference as you look at the scoreboard. And the Armada take on Naples United here tomorrow. Global Soccer Pathways will host FC Florida, and Club de Leon will host the Miami Dutch Lions in Miami. That one's in Miami. Is how that works.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's how that works. But we'll certainly keep an eye out on the Armada. That's NPSL action, excuse me. NPSL, not WPSL. Ignore that logo. All right, we're going to take another quick break here on the halftime show. And look, when we get back, we got more soccer, Lou. We got an exciting second half still to come. We're tied up 1-1. We'll see if it ends in a draw, or perhaps the girls in blue can go out on a winning note in their regular season finale. That's coming up next right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Shacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal!
Chloe Chivers.
And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is out. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Campion Law will fight for you till the bitter end. We suffered several injuries along with the car being totaled. They checked on us literally almost every day for the next 2 weeks, just making sure, are you okay? Do you need anything? Even Chris was texting us, like, what can we get you? Campion cares.
Action Sports Jacks 24/7 presents Jacksonville Armada Soccer, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
And welcome back to Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium. Sedona Dan Chu and the Jacksonville Armada making their way out onto the field here as we get set for the second half of action in this WPSL South Region matchup in the Sunshine Conference between the Armada and the Seminole Ice. I just want to see how long I can go with that. Seminole Ice from down in Orlando. Get a look at Morgan Weaver for the Armada. The visitors from Seminole made their drive up here earlier today. They got to be happy about a nice short drive. Although, with a bunch of these teams in like Tampa, South Florida, Seminole's probably the ideal location to have a team in this conference because all your drives are probably pretty equal distance, right? Yeah, Lou's shaking his head with me in a positive manner. Jacksonville, we got to drive a long way to go anywhere. You know, I'm just saying. We don't have to drive north at all. We're the furthest north up here in the sunshine. You know, we love being here in the state of Florida. Halftime is over. The second half whistle blows, and we are underway. Ball sent long by Jacksonville. Let's test Burgos. She handles it as Lizanne Fogarty gave it a rip from midfield. Why not? I know Jacksonville's tried that a few times here over this year and a half, 2 years now of playing in the WPSL. Giveaway by the Ice, poked ahead to Gian Ramirez inside the 18, shielded by Roberts. Across the end line and a goal kick for the Ice. So we mentioned in that first half it was Krissa Avery who started in goal before Kiana Burgos came into the match. She will start the second half of this one for the Ice. As that ball is given away, Ella Simpson knocks it out of bounds, and Jacksonville earns a throw-in. To reset for you here, this back line for the Armada, you got Hayden Petrick, Avery Upton, Caitlin Seaborn, as well as Kylie Overstreet giving chase to this ball on the far side. In the midfield, Maddie Williams, Lizanne Fogarty, as well as Sedona Danchu. Now Seminole tries to break the other way. Emily Legler into the match for the Ice. Sending to the near side. Giving chase is Tregonson. Back to Tregonson it goes. She'll go back to the middle, and Legler has help if she needs it. She'll take it. This is Simpson. Pushing back ahead to Alex Beck, who had a great opportunity in that first half. Sends a cross. Nice ball. Headed into the air by Addison Crone. Now all the way back. And sent ahead by Seiler. Back to Crone. This ball sent long, given chase is Cooker. Sends a cross. Knocked down. Second chance. Still alive inside the box. And finally goes across the end line. And they're going to call a goal kick for Jacksonville. But 2 or 3 great chances in there for Seminole Ice to find an early goal in the second half, Lewis.
It ends up bouncing off a Seminole Ice player, and luckily for the Armada, goes out of bounds for a goal kick.
Hey, take a look, and that was a good chance. That was certainly a good chance. Georgie McNeil in the middle there had that last touch for Seminole. But the Armada survived. Let's just say that is a survival right there. This ball headed down by Corrigan. She'll send the ball down the line. Knocked away by Upton. Throw in for the Ice.
Quite the height matchup between Corrigan and Danshu. Danshu standing at 5'3".
Corrigan, a 5'10" defender, rising sophomore at Southern Miss out of Vieira, Florida. Here's Maddie Williams sending long. And much of the second half has been played on Jacksonville's side of the field now. See if the Armada can try and turn it around and get a little offense going.
Girls in blue are going to have to wake up coming out of the half here. Definitely don't want to give up an early goal. It's a must-win game.
Strong tackle there in the middle by Roberts. But now Jacksonville can run with it. Overstreet sends long down the line. This deflects last off of Seminole for a Jacksonville throw-in.
The same front three that came off the pitch. Not the same front three that started this matchup.
Now with Almanza, Ramirez, and Danshu. Pontieri in the midfield. Although very much an attacking player for Jacksonville. Some good attacking options for sure in the front half of this field.
Lizanne Fogarty will gear up here for a long throw, I'm sure, into the box.
There it is. This ball headed into the air up towards the top of that 18. Danshu brings it down. Now giving chase is Petrick to the near side, down by that end line, right by the corner. And this one's going to roll out for a Jacksonville throw-in. Petrick lets it roll out, gets it back in. Danshu hooks it forward. Still alive inside that 18. Finally cleared out by Seminole, but Avery Upton. First touch just a little off. And now they got to get back because here comes Seminole. Ball sent long by Georgie McNeil. Giving chase is Ava Cooker for the Seminole Ice. Works her way into the 18, takes a shot, but right into the hands of Morgan Weaver.
What a switch from the Ice. Cooker just streaking down that right-hand wing past Kylie Overstreet, who was pushed up just a little high during that Armada offensive possession. But that's how Seminole has been dangerous so far in this matchup, getting those balls in behind and switching the field of play.
But you see just how quickly a turnover can lead to an opportunity for the Ice. As Upton, playing a little out of position, a little too far up, loses the ball. Just like that, Seminole had an opportunity. Can't do anything with it. Here's Jacksonville now ahead, trying to find Danshu, poked away. It's Simpson on defense. Jacksonville earns the throw-in.
Section 904 still cheering, still drumming. The ball gets played down the line by Petrick.
Into the air. See Almanza there in the mix, still alive. Danshu brings it down. Almanza gets back to it. Now cuts it back. Well done by Nancy Almanza. Works her way down, sends across. Oh, Lizanne Fogarty was there. If that pass was a little more on the mark, she has to chase it down. Jacksonville, though, retains possession. On the edge of the attacking third is Overstreet, sends ahead. But off the foot of Ramirez, and Seminole will earn the throw-in.
Almanza makes those quick turns look so easy.
Done by Overstreet to get back into it, knock it away from Legler of the Ice. Here's a cross into the middle. Almanza gets a boot on it. Not near the goal this time.
She's all over that back line of the Seminole Ice. She's putting that pressure on and really making that defensive four make those mistakes.
To the middle of the field. Seminole's done well to string together its passes.
You saw them settle into this match after their first goal.
Here's Maddie Williams, middle of the field, sending long. Flag is up, and offside is the call against Jacksonville.
The third offside call for the girls in blue. That one definitely looked a little bit more off than the other one.
Maybe. That was a good trap. Good trap played by the visitors on what looked like a promising chance. It looked like Jacksonville was putting some passes together. There's some pressure and a giveaway.
Turnover.
Skied by Maddie Williams to the far side. Gianna Ramirez gives chase. Will battle with Aaliyah Roberts for that ball.
Don't let her turn.
Roberts forced to retreat and send it back. See if Jacksonville will keep this in that attacking third. Falls all the way back to Seaborn in the back line. Now Avery Upton, the talented defender at the University of Florida.
Upton's been fantastic so far this season. She stepped into that role into center back and played it so well this entire matchup.
Petrick to Pontieri in the middle. Now back to Hayden Petrick. Ball towards the top of that 18. Giving chase is Gianna Ramirez. Instead cleared out by Seminole. And the Ice now have it at midfield. Here's Alex Beck.
This is where they're dangerous. Quick transition into the attack. Cooker all by herself.
Flag is up and an offside is called against Ava Cooker, the rising sophomore at Stetson. One of those players you had a chance to see as the voice of the JU Dolphins soccer team, Lou.
Yeah, the Mad Hatters often come up to Southern Oak Stadium to play the Finns. Luckily, I get to call the men's and women's matchups. Plenty of talent down there in DeLand, Florida.
You just say that to make me mad. You know, they're not the Mad Hatters.
It's good, though. You know, you can put the adjective on it. We talked about the Golden Hurricane before.
That's the name. They're not in Alice in Wonderland. They're not the Mad Hatters.
You know, as a JU man myself, you know, I have to drop a little diss in there.
Sure. Did you end up at JU? Did you end up going to school there after?
Not a single year.
Okay, but you're a JU man.
Yeah.
All right.
Flagler. You shout out Flagler.
Is that where you ended up?
This is.
I know you said UCF.
UCF and then Flagler.
Okay.
Stayed in Florida.
Yeah. Here's Maddie Williams, middle of the field for the Armada. Pokes it ahead. Not a bad idea. Splits the defense, but finds its way to Burgos, as none of the Armada players were making a run at the moment.
You think we'll see another keeper switch at the water break here?
Maybe. I mean,
that was an interesting play.
I'm trying to
head
think
coach of the Ice.
if maybe she picked up a knock somewhere in there.
Yeah.
To Avery that we didn't see. Might have just pulled up on it a little bit. I mean, not that she'd be warming up right now, anyways, but she is sitting over there on the bench along with all the other substitutes. As this ball sent to the middle for Legler. She'll send long to Ava Cooker on the far side.
Ooh, Cooker.
Cuts it back. Nice play there. It'll find its way ahead to McNeil. This is her in the middle of the field. Tries to poke forward, but Jacksonville gathers and drops it all the way back to Morgan Weaver.
They're really trying to find number 5 on that right wing. She's dangerous. She's been able to prove that she's been able to beat her defender multiple times just based off of pace. So
I often think that when a player gets a yellow card early in the match, it does change the opponent's game plan as well, as that is Kylie Overstreet's side, and that's where they've been going. Here's a nice ball ahead to Nancy Almanza, but the flag is up once again.
Man, that one
another
close,
offside call.
Stuart.
Well, again, we can't say fuck here as well, but
we can't blame it on the ref this time either. This is the side that didn't get any offside calls.
That's right. Maybe they switched. I don't know. You see a substitution for the visitors as Dragonson will come off, and Haley Mercero makes her way into the match. Heading into her senior season, just transferred into UCF. Played her first 3 years up at Pitt, the Panthers. But she is a South Florida girl from Boca Raton, so makes her way back to the Sunshine State for the senior season. This ball sent long. Unfortunately, Seaborn brings it down because that was the kind of opportunity that Seminoles take advantage of thus far in this matchup. Appreciate everybody joining us on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Final women's match of the season. Of course, you can go back and watch all of those full match replays on actionnewsjacks.com. We have them all uploaded. You can watch the full match. We'll also be having a marathon of all these matches on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network in the next couple weeks. Here's a cross by Danchu. Everyone's still chasing it down. Finally cleared out by Seminole, at least as far as Kylie Overstreet. She'll send it back ahead to Almanza. Little turn, little shot, but not on frame. That'll go wide and result in a goal kick for the Ice.
Yeah, Danchu's original cross down that byline was the right idea. Just No blue shirts arriving late at the top of the box. And then Almanza with another great turn to create space for herself. Just can't wrap her right foot around the ball.
Danchu, one of our few non-Jacksonville folks on this roster, other than our 3 internationals. Danchu from up in Charlotte, North Carolina, played her college ball at VMI, Virginia Military Institute, scoring 9 goals over 3 years for VMI. Let's see if she can get one for the Armada. I'd love to see it.
She's been dangerous so far. A late addition to this squad, but really stepped into that right wing role very well.
Seaborn looking ahead to Gianna Ramirez. This will go out for a Jacksonville throw. For Liz Ann Fogarty. Nice little crowd here on a Friday night in Jacksonville. We got a sunset brewing off in the distance. Think it's still hot out there? It is downright cold here in the press box.
We got really lucky today with some clouds just before the match. Cooled down the stadium just a little bit, but we're lucky to have AC here in the press booth.
I just realized I have control of it, so I pressed it up a degree. I can do that. We have the power. We're not at the mercy of the weather, like Section 904 and those fans over there on the far side.
They've done well to stick it throughout the summer. You know who hasn't was a couple German teams in the Club World Cup.
Don't get me started, Lewis. Don't get me started. We discussed this on Fleet and Footy.
I watched these girls in the WPSL play these afternoon matches in the high heat of Central Florida, and you got these Club World Cup teams going into their locker rooms before the half to cool off. It's just an amazing sight to me, Stuart.
Grab a cup of water, man. How about a Gatorade? Get you some electrolytes, you know? That's why Dr. Robert Cade invented it for a reason, folks. To hydrate those University of Florida athletes in the swamp. Naturally. Here's Liz Ann Fogarty, naturally working her way through the defense. Sends the ball long, finds Danchu, and the flag's up. Another offside called against Jacksonville. These line judges just know they're getting on camera tonight. It's got to be it, right? It's got to be it.
Yeah, usually these teams don't have the setup like the Action News Jax crew has here.
That one looked very cinematic. And then down. You know, I mean, I don't know. Here's a long ball from Seminole. Jacksonville has to knock this thing away. Under pressure is Hayden Petrick. Georgia McNeil all over her back, but Petrick able to clear nicely.
That was calm.
Ahead to Danchu. Let's see if Sedona can get some offense going out of it.
Nice.
She gets knocked to the turf, and there's no foul called there, as Seminole will control in the back end. Here's Seiler. Hannah Seiler.
These long spells of no possession for the Armada aren't fantastic.
It's a little different from what we've seen a lot of this year. But Jacksonville needs to find a way to take advantage of its opportunities when they get them. As we are 60 minutes into this one, 2/3 of the way done.
Those balls played back to the keeper are going to be huge for the Armada if they keep up that pressure.
Well into the second half of action. Good
Nice
numbers
interplay
here for Seminole. Ahead they go to Georgia McNeil on the near side, giving chase are the Armada. Here's a chance, drop it back to Beck, top of the 18, up and over the crossbar. Hits that football crossbar. It'll be a goal kick for the Armada. After that one went back into play, but they had a 4-on-3 opportunity there. It did the girls in gray, just couldn't take advantage.
Yeah, it's a tall task to ask of yourself to try to chip the 6'3" Morgan Weaver.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best route.
But some more dangerous interplay from Seminole. They're able to ping those passes in between each other.
Another giveaway by Jacksonville's back line. Pushing forward is Simpson. Armada got to get back here and give some help to that back line because they have been inundated by runs for the Ice. This ball knocked out. Will be a goal kick for the Armada. So a chance to catch your breath. Send your players up. And really a lot of this lineup for Jacksonville has been focused on the offensive end. You talk about swapping out a midfielder for Danchu, who's more of a forward up there. It leaves you with Danchu, Pontieri, Ramirez, and Almanza. That's 4 real attacking players in this lineup as Jacksonville tries to find its way back to an advantageous position. They are currently even, 1-1.
Yeah, you'll definitely
looking for its first lead of the match. Sorry.
No, you'll definitely see a bunch of these Armada players play the full 90 minutes tonight and possibly even rotate positions just to save a little bit of legs here. But you'll see a lot of these women here tonight play the full match.
We say that, but like putting in these offensive players as we get a substitution for Jacksonville, Lizanne Fogarty going to get a quick break. And it'll be Caitlin Shearer into the match for the first time. The Fleming Island grad, playing at Valdosta State University, with 2 goals and 2 assists last year at Valdosta. Ball ahead, here's Sophia Pompieri, middle of the field. Nice touch, sends it long, giving chase is Gianna Ramirez, flags, stays. No, it went up after all, but nonetheless falls to Burgos.
I had to agree with the referee there.
It was close, but I got my hopes up because he kept it down so long.
That's one of my least favorite new rules in soccer is sometimes these referees wait for the whole play to develop before they throw up that offside flag. So it gets everyone really anxious and nervous, and you look over to that AR and that flag's up. And
I was anxious and nervous, yes. That was me. I was that in this scenario. Go all the way back to Seaborn. She'll play it back to her keeper with a little more pace this time. And Weaver sends it long.
Finds a teammate.
Yeah. Able to get it ahead to Petrick. Plays it with Shearer. Now Petrick sends it long. It's a good ball headed down by Seminole. Flicked on.
Beck has played fantastic in that number 10 role for Seminole Ice tonight.
Funny you say that. She's about to get subbed off the field. How that works sometimes.
You got the crystal ball, Stuart.
I do. We have inside information from our man on the field down there, Ed Smith. This is Simpson, middle of the field, sends it to the far side at Cougar. Chases it down towards the edge of the 18, and well done by Weaver to stretch out and grab that. She'll play it quickly. Here comes Jacksonville. Here's Shearer. Excuse me, Upton. Upton cuts it back into the middle of the field. Has options. Tries to thread the needle. Oh, that was a very much needed knockdown by Seiler for the Ice. This one goes out of bounds for a throw in. Seiler, the incoming freshman at Valparaiso from Orlando. So as mentioned, it is Beck coming off the field for the Ice. In her place, Katsi Bengoa, originally from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Played her high school ball in Orlando and now is at UCF. One of the many UCFers.
A Boricua, they say in Puerto Rico.
Actually, I've not been to Puerto Rico.
Just beautiful country, fantastic country. San Juan, old San Juan is gorgeous.
Not actually a country though, right? It's a.
Ooh, that's contentious to remember. Right?
It's a territory, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. That's Bad Bunny.
It might also be a country. I don't know. It might be a dual thing. Just speaking on technicality, that's all I'm doing. Here's Nancy Almanza working her way back towards the middle of the field, pokes it ahead to Danchu, turns it around, still alive inside the box, shot wide of the net, but the flag was up. I don't know how early the flag went up on that one, probably a while ago. You poked me mid call there, so that probably went up earlier, right?
It's a shame. I don't know who we're playing against tonight. The team in gray.
No.
We don't. But these offsides are adding up.
No, we don't say that. If they're adding up, it's because the back line for Seminole is doing a good job of playing traps and catching us off guard.
They are. I've actually been impressed with our center back, number 15, Avery Upton. Not only has she been playing defense, but you just saw that little solo run to make that attack happen just a few minutes ago. She's really been a leader in the back line so far this night, directing her players around the pitch.
Danchu coming off for Jacksonville. Back into the match is Tally Hines. Tally Hines has gotten a nice stretch there to regain the legs. For Seminole, Jalen Haas, the goal scorer, comes in. Georgie McNeil off for the visitors. So a couple more substitutions here in this second half of play. We're in the 67th minute, right where we were at halftime, still 1-1. As that one makes its way past Hayden Petrick. Now she has to recover and get back. with Cooker making that run down the near side, sends the ball towards net, wide of the goal. Morgan Weaver was on top of it, but still tested momentarily and made to think about it for a moment.
Yeah, Cooker now switching to this left-hand side to try to get a hold of Petrich, and she puts that shot just wide of the net. Weaver stretched out, all 6'3" of her, and luckily goes out for an Armada goal kick.
There's Seaborn sending ahead to Overstreet. And these are the spots where Jacksonville needs to retain possession. You can't have a sloppy turnover this far back into your back line. Nice job by Upton to use the free space and push ahead, but then Jacksonville loses possession. They have to find a way to string it together from the back line to the middle to the front line. Sounds easy enough, but how about Almanza getting a foot on it? Hey, Burgos wasn't going to be caught off guard that time as she comes out to come get it. And here's another chance for Seminole. You see, oh, there was an offside call against Seminole on the far side. All right, there you go.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Stuart. The defense isn't finding the midfield, who isn't finding the attack. It's the seams, Stuart, that they're not finding. They're not transitioning into those different positions all the way up top.
Definitely seems that way. Here's the ball sent long. Nancy Almanza there as it comes off the defender. Sends ahead to Gianna Ramirez on the far side. Working her way towards that 18. Cuts it back in. Cleared out by Seminole. See if this rolls out. No, it stays in. And the ice will have a chance to clear. They send it towards that Jacksonville bench. Good battle there. Goes out of bounds for an Armada throw-in.
Ice have been pretty good about booting that ball out of dangerous areas. Just completely get rid of it.
A lot of times that's certainly been the move. Especially if you're not connecting passes between your lines, you might as well just get it out of there. And Seminole's done a good job of doing that and finding their players behind the Jacksonville defense. Upton knocks it all the way back to Weaver, and she can't get a solid connection on it. Still alive, and right back to Upton. Now Shearer, and ahead to Petrick. And this one's sent long. See if Pontieri can get to it with two great jerseys.
Oh, misplayed.
Misplayed. Here's Almanza, middle of the field, back ahead to Pontieri. Pontieri giving chase, and the flag's up.
Man, she even looked down her line and tiptoed before that pass was played. That's why Pontieri looks so frustrated with the AR there.
And you see her right there, Sophia Pontieri. Felt as though she was onside on that play, but not as judged by the officials. Substitution for Seminole, Alicia Cohen in for Emily Legler. Cohen, the Gainesville native, rising sophomore at Alabama A&M. Here for Jacksonville, it's Caitlin Seaborn to Avery Upton. Speaking of Gainesville, University of Florida player. Ahead now to Shearer and Petrick on the near side. Now let's see if they can string some together or just send it long. Looking towards the net. Burgos forced to jump and retrieve it.
Wow, Stuart. Held my breath on that one. We saw one of those be the game-tying goal, those cross shot earlier in the season for Gianna Ramirez, but that one coming from Petrick, I think she just wanted to get it into a dangerous area, and she definitely did that by almost putting it back of the net.
Foul called on that far side against Seminole, so free kick for Jacksonville. And a bit of conversation there with our head official on the ice.
Dangerous chance here for the Armada.
It'll be Maddie Williams to take this long free kick. Let's see if Jacksonville can put a player in the right place and make something of it in the 72nd minute. Ball sent long towards the edge of the 18, headed on by Tally, but across the end line will be another goal kick.
The Welsh woman finds the Northern Irish woman there in the box, and this doesn't put it on frame, but that was a nice delivery and connection there.
That was the idea, certainly. So often with those headers, I mean, we saw it with that goal from Avery Patterson at halftime. You just get it on frame and you're in good position. Here's Nancy Almanza, right on the edge of the 18. Drops it back to Shearer. Shearer ahead to Tally Hines, sends it back into the mixer. Almanza surrounded by gray jerseys, and it'll be taken away by the Seminole Ice. See if they can break with it. They got a 3-on-2, make it a 3-on-3. Instead, it'll roll out for an Armada throw-in. So the Ice unable to take advantage of that break. Instead, it'll be Jacksonville playing it ahead. And here they go. Gianna Ramirez.
Lucky there.
Down the line she goes, sends a cross, looking for Pontieri, right into the midst of Burgos.
Now that's more like it. That's how the Armada have usually scored this year. Going down the wing, being able to cut in that ball down the middle, deliver those crosses into a striker or a streaking winger, and put that ball into goal.
Here's Seaborn, gets ahead on it. Jacksonville's got to be careful because so often we see the Armada players being pests there on defense, but that's really been what Seminole Ice have done so well here in this match to give them these opportunities. Maddie Williams now, middle of the field, big battle, and a little bit of a push afterwards, not happy with it. Foul call, will be a free kick at midfield for Jacksonville as physicality ratchets up a little bit here. 74th minute, still 1-1. Official gives the safe. No, that's not what that was. She says, no more. I shall see no more of this.
I love to see it from Maddie Williams. You might not be able to do that in the WPSL, but I know in Wales they let stuff go a little bit more across the pond.
No, we're not in Wales. How many countries are in that country? 4. One of my favorite Ted Lasso jokes. Because it's one of the original ones from the SNL skit. Not from, well, then they use it in the show. It was great. This ball roll to the bench. Be a Jacksonville throw-in. 74th minute. Final match of the regular season for the girls in blue. Got to find a way to get at least one more goal here to possibly continue the season, and then they need some help. But first, need a goal. At least one.
We've seen them score them late before, so this isn't out of the ordinary for the girls.
They certainly have. I mean, for us, it'd be a little less nervy if they could go find one right now, right?
Once again, those back passes to the keeper are going to be key if you can pressure.
Seminole does well to gather and move it down the line. Here's Corrigan up ahead to Cooker. Cooker making a run. Petrick chasing her down here on that near side. Ava Cooker cuts it back to her right foot. Sends that cross, headed nearly by Jalen Haas, the goal scorer. She wanted to get her head on it, just couldn't quite connect. This will go all the way to the other side and be a throw-in right next to the corner flag.
That was a bullet of a cross from Haas.
That's good. A cross from Haas? Yeah. There's a lot you could do with that. As we hit our hydration break here in this second half. Both squads get a chance to go and regroup. Find the winning solution in the final 15 minutes of this one, as we still find ourselves matched up 1-1 here on the campus of Edward Waters University. So this is the final home match of the season for the girls in blue. Let's see if some bagpipes can motivate them. We need a shot. I'm calling out a shot. Can we get a shot of the bagpipes? That's where we got to go. We got to showcase Section 904's perhaps newest fan. Really first appeared in that match at Patton Park, I think was the first time. Yes. See, I need to give some props, give a shout out, because the energy that the bagpipes have provided, and I don't know, maybe it's because we got 2 Welsh players and 1 from Northern Ireland, but thank you, sir. You have provided quite a boost, at least for us, with enthusiasm in the booth, and I know for the players too.
I love to see all the different instruments out there Section 904 has. I wanted a trumpet, but got the bagpipes instead. You could argue maybe even better than a trumpet.
Yes, you did call for the trumpet before the season started. But maybe we'll get a trumpet one day. We'll find you one.
Playoff trumpet?
Ooh. Shout out to Section 904. They've been bringing the energy here throughout. You see the flags waving. You see the drums. You see just the energy that they bring each and every match. It doesn't matter if it's the men's or the women's squad. They are here to support the Jacksonville Armada, and this is for them. This is the final home matches for them. So hopefully the girls in blue can go out there, go find a winner. Send them home happy, Lewis.
Yeah, Section 904 has been so receptive to this women's team since they joined the WPSL last season. Plenty of TIFOs have been made for this squad. It's just really awesome to see this community connect around this semi-pro women's team.
So we restart this in the 78th minute. Still 1-1 with a Jacksonville throw-in down by their own end line. And a bit of a tangle there. Foul called against the Armada.
South America, they don't call that. That was some body-to-body contact. Unfortunately, the Armada on the receiving end of that play.
You're saying, unfortunately, we're not in South America. We're in the United States, Lewis. We're not in Wales. We're not in South America.
Trying to put us all over the world. So.
Yeah, you know, I enjoy some world traveling. Be a two-woman wall here for the Armada on this free kick opportunity for Seminole. The Ice with a great set-piece chance here. Let's see if they have something in their bag of tricks.
Haven't had as many set pieces as the Armada have tonight. With the swinging ball.
Haas coming for the short run. Instead, it's going towards goal and goes past the face of goal. Very dangerous, as there were quite a few gray jerseys there on that back post who had a chance at it.
All you got to do is put a body part on it to knock it towards goal, and we've seen chaos happen in the box before where that ball pinballs around and gets into the back of the net.
Sometimes just the studs of your boot will do it, as Nancy Almanza proved earlier in this one. Here's Hayden Petrick, keeping it, sends ahead to Tally. Another collision, and this time the foul called.
Makeup call?
On Haley Mercero. And Jacksonville will get a free kick on Seminole side of the field.
Armada is still relentless in the attack, trying for that second goal. We saw it, how eager they were to get that fourth goal to tie it all back up against West Florida, continuing to push in those final 6 minutes of extra time. Have 12 minutes to go in regulation here.
You're saying we need that urgency. Here's Hayden Petrick's ball towards the box,
nice.
Headed down, still alive. Knocked away by Seminole, at least as far as Gianna Ramirez. She'll get a high boot on it, send it ahead. Here's Shearer with the cross, knocked into the air by Seminole, still alive, inside the box. Deflection, goes off of Jacksonville, and Seminole fortunate to earn a goal kick out of that.
Ramirez with some acrobatic efforts there to get the ball and try to find a teammate in the box. She's been such an exciting player to watch all season. Definitely going to have to keep my eyes peeled now, that FAU Owl squad.
That's right. We've had some good FAU players over the years on the men's and women's squads. Right down there in Boca. Some more substitutions taking place. For Jacksonville, Maddie Williams will come off, and Liz Ann Fogarty comes back in for the home stretch. Seminole takes off Corrigan as well as Crone. In comes Zona and Tregonson. This ball headed down by Liz Ann Fogarty, right back into the match, and that's Tally Hines. Ahead to Ramirez, cuts back into the middle of the field, dispossessed. Ice with a chance to break. They've got some numbers here, send it to the near side. Down the line comes Amy Zona. She'll send long for Jalen Haas, but the flag was up, and an offside is called against the Ice. Guess you could say that froze their offense.
We're waiting for some ice jokes.
I was thinking about if I wanted to go there or not. I'd feel better if we were winning. I'd really lay them on thick.
A little bit more loose.
You know, you're a little more loose when you have a good lead, and just needed one to break the ice, I guess. Thank you.
And that's Stroh Weber for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey. All right, middle of the field here. Here's Liz Ann Fogarty back in there and doing work.
Love to see that from her.
Going head-to-head there with Alicia Cohen, and the foul called on number 7 for Seminole. Seems like we've decided no physical play now for the remaining 10 minutes as the shift has happened in this one. A lot of the stuff that was maybe allowed in the first half, not so much. Here's Caitlin Seaborn's ball, long, headed on. Here's a chance. Gianna Ramirez brings it down, still alive, takes a shot, and into the back of the net. The Jacksonville Armada have gone ahead in the 82nd minute. Gianna Ramirez. And the bagpipes go. I'm telling you, just had to break the ice. That's all it was. Let's take another look at this one as the Armada go ahead. And that ball down in the box. Ramirez gets it away from the keeper, keeps it alive, escapes Mercero, and puts it into the back of the net. I'll tell you what, something about Ramirez and scoring goals late in matches. Obviously had the big one against the West Florida Flames. As we bring it back to action here, and the smoke has been popped at Nathaniel Glover Community Field in Stadium. Section 904 has the bagpipes going. They're excited. And Jacksonville takes a 2-1 lead here at home in the regular season finale, Lewis.
Yeah, Ramirez has been relentless down that right-hand side. Finally finds possibly the winning goal for the girls in blue tonight. So happy to see her score just because she's been relentless.
All right, well, Jacksonville has to keep the foot on the pedal here. Here's an opportunity, a deflection, but it falls to Weaver. Dirty moment. For Jacksonville, these next few minutes are going to be absolutely crucial. So often you score a goal, you take your foot off the gas pedal, you're still excited, the adrenaline's rushing, you're pumped up, and then you can make mistakes. Mistakes are where goals happen here in the WPSL. This ball poked ahead. Shearer in the middle of the field deflects it off a Seminole player. Falls all the way back to Upton. Upton unable to clear it back to Weaver. Knocked down and cleared away by Upton. Weaver does well to come off her line and avoid the mistake that cost Jacksonville the first goal. So as mentioned, you have to take care of the ball right after scoring a goal if you're Jacksonville. Another chance, this one up and over by Haas, and Jacksonville earns a goal kick. But this was a very real scoring opportunity for the visitors from Seminole as you take a look at Morgan Weaver getting the job done as this ball was just in a dangerous spot. Clearance that doesn't make it back to Weaver. She has to come off her line, and Upton able to get back to it and clear it away.
I just saw a text from Tommy in a group chat. So it looks like the boys in blue are watching this matchup here in ActionSportsJax.com.
All right. Love to hear it. Good luck tomorrow night against Naples United to the boys in blue as they look to clinch the #1 overall seed in the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference. Already clinched a home playoff game, which we'll carry here on Action Sports Jax 24/7 for you. That, of course, coming up on July 9th. They still have much more business to attend to. Two big matchups on the road, Naples United and the New Orleans Jesters as the fouls committed by Jacksonville will result in a quick start free kick by the Seminole Ice, and here they go. Down the far side, this is Jalen Haas working her way into the box, sends a cross, still alive. Let's see if Weaver can come out and get it. She has it between her legs and snags it. What a save there by Morgan Weaver.
Yeah, this ref needs to get a hold of the game. I think she thought she had a hold of the game by calling those fouls, but a quick restart there from Seminole Ice causes them to get in the attack very quickly there. I think that ball was still rolling, for being honest. Definitely wasn't where the foul was committed. Armada get away with one there. Looks like the Seminole Ice also pick up a yellow card in the process.
Amy Zona, number 9 for the Ice, receives that yellow card. You see her speaking with the head official in the 86th minute. 2-1 Jacksonville lead. They're going to try their best to hold on for dear life down the stretch of this one. You know what would make it a little easier, Lewis? Just go get another one. Can we just go get another one and make us feel a little easier?
That almighty insurance goal is necessary here late to put the ladies ahead 3-1.
I would not be upset.
We had 6 minutes of extra time in that West Florida Flames draw earlier in this season.
You mean 9?
9? Yeah,
I mean, it kept going. We didn't score until like the 9th minute for that last one.
Regulation 6.
Yeah, you know, right.
We had 3 minutes added to the first half here. There hasn't been too much. Oh my goodness!
On a standard foul by Fogarty in the middle of the field, another yellow card.
That's what happens when you try to control the game late.
When you lose control of the game. Fogarty, the captain, able to speak her mind to the head official here. That is one of the benefits of wearing that captain's armband, is that you're given a little more slack.
I know when Liz Ann receives a yellow card, she wants to know that she earned that yellow card. I know she's going to be disappointed in that one tonight.
Like a major league manager, right? If you get ejected, you're going to go out there and get your money's worth.
Exactly.
That is certainly how that works. So, free kick chance for the visitors. Yeah, a little mind game there. Hannah Seiler set to take this for Seminole Ice. As we enter the 88th minute of play, this ball sent towards the edge of the 18, headed down by Seaborn. Now let's see if Jacksonville can get a clearance here and just get it out of there. Instead, Seminole will send it long, and looks like we have another yellow card, as this one goes against Alicia Cohen, number 7 for the visitors from Seminole. Didn't see what happened on that one, but another yellow card is handed out.
Yeah, these yellow cards are coming thick and fast now. Something I enjoy about the women's game is usually there's not as much pomp and circumstance around the fouls and the physicality. You see what you see and you get what you get, and I'm excited to see that these girls have put on a show tonight and really stepped it up physically.
Long ball sent by Caitlin Seaborn all the way to that edge of the attacking third, poked on by Fogarty. This is Sophia Pontieri trying to get under it, and it results in a throw-in for the Armada deep in Seminole Ice territory. And this is the point in the match where they're going to take their time.
Hopefully not too many minutes added on. The referee, I know, is going to be looking at her watch to see the time ticking away. So the ball gets played in here, and it'll go out again for an Armada throw-in.
Not upset about that.
Seminole Ice disagree as they play ball boy for just a second.
Got this ball into the box. They want a handball, none given. All the way back to Fogarty, able to keep possession momentarily. It's knocked away by Seminole. Seaborn just needs to knock this out of the park. She will send it to the sideline, so throw in for the Ice. They'll play it quickly. Back into the middle of the field. Here's Fogarty, able to emerge from that battle with the ball and send it long. A little too central. Needed to send that one down the line for Almanza. These forwards for Jacksonville having a chance to put a little pressure on. There's Hayden Petrick into the back of Zona. Now the Ice will drop it to their back line, looking to send it to the other side of the field. Here's Burgos, the keeper. It's the middle of the field. We're in the 90th minute of play here at Edward Waters University. Ball sent long, headed down by Petrick. And Gianna Ramirez takes her time before sending across towards the middle. Nancy Almanza was there to make a run. She couldn't get onto it. Tally Hines gets a foot. Here's Simpson switching to the far side. Now Seminole trying to make a run on that far side of the field. Poked ahead. Here's Haas giving chase. The goal scorer sends a cross back into the middle. Opportunity at the top of the 18. It's brought down. Shot deflected. And a corner kick is coming. That was Katsi Bengoa. Katsi Bengoa had that chance towards the top of the 18. As we are now into stoppage time here in this second half. It'll be a corner kick from that far side. This is Tregonson. Sends a high ball headed down and poked over by Weaver. That goes off of the crossbar, and so that's another corner kick. That was a weird looking play, right? If you see that football crossbar, you get confused as the ball comes bouncing back into play, and we're going to have a substitute made here for Jacksonville as Gianna Ramirez will come all the way from the other side of the field, and Sedona Nanchu makes her way in on defense. Into stoppage time in this second half. Tregonson set to take a second corner kick. Another opportunity, another high ball towards the edge of the 6, headed up and over the crossbar. Jacksonville gets a goal kick out of it. So those set pieces are the ones where you kind of have to hold your breath a little bit if you're a Jacksonville supporter late in this matchup in the WPSL South region. The Armada need a win. And then they need some help. They need West Florida to win tonight, but to lose on Sunday in that exact order. And then Jacksonville has to win the goal differential as well. So all these things to keep an eye on over the coming days in the Sunshine Conference to see how it all shakes out. Ball sent long by Jacksonville, headed back down by the Seminole Ice. Into the middle of the field. Here's Nancy Almanza with some possession for Jacksonville. And happy to take a little run with it, but Seminole gathers and sends it back the other way. Ball sent long towards the middle of the field. This will fall all the way to Weaver. She will fall on it, take her time. As that is the final whistle. So, 2 minutes of extra time is your answer for how much extra time we got. And that's a win for the Jacksonville Armada as they take a 2-1 victory to close out the regular season in a hard-fought battle against the Seminole Ice. It is your Jacksonville Armada who claimed a 2-1 victory. The girls in blue victorious here on a Friday night at Edward Waters University. What a win for Section 904 as Nancy Almanza and Gianna Ramirez provide the 2 strikes, both coming late in their respective halves. Almanza with a late first half goal to tie it up. You see Weaver chatting it up with her teammates. Big win for Morgan Weaver. The goalkeeper for the Armada had to make some big time saves there down the stretch as this Seminole Ice team came in and had so many great offensive opportunities. It's a win for your interim coach, Jed Bowman, as mentioned. Goffey off with the ECNL program at a major tournament. You get a look down at the sideline, assistant coaches and players getting a chance to celebrate. What a huge win this was for the girls in blue, who will now head over to Section 904 as they do after each and every home victory to go and celebrate with the fans who come out and support them once again here on the campus of Edward Waters University. Well, that was one heck of a way to wrap up the home schedule here at EWU on the campus of Edward Waters, Nathaniel Lever Community Field and Stadium. And what a win, 2-1 for the Armada, who didn't lead until that 82nd minute goal from Gianna Ramirez. They obviously go down early in the first half, have to find an equalizer, but they did that number one thing that they had to do: take care of your business. Remain undefeated at home and keep hope alive. Now, we will see how everything else shakes out across the Wpsl Sunshine Conference. We'll have to find out that final score from the West Florida Flames and Florida Premier. But regardless, a tremendous season by the girls in blue, year number 2 here in the Wpsl here in Jacksonville, and a building of a program and a building for all these local stars here in Jacksonville. Let's check out those highlights from this matchup, and what a matchup it was. Let's take a look. Early on, it was the giveaway that gave the lead away. Jalen Haas taking advantage and putting it into the back of the net, but then a giveaway on the other side gives it right back as Nancy Almanza just puts a boot up, knocks it down, and into the back of the net it goes. Armada, Ice, all square at 1 apiece at halftime. To the second half we go, and this ball just finds its way to Gianna Ramirez, who eludes the keeper and a defender and scores. But it wasn't over, because Morgan Weaver forced to make some tremendous saves down the stretch to preserve that 2-1 lead and allow Jacksonville to escape with a victory. As you see, time after time, that ball was such a great spot, and that big collision down inside the 6-yard boxes. The bagpipes play for a big victory. Section 904 celebrates yet another win by the girls in blue. As let's go down to Louis Lorandi. He's catching up with the game-winning goal scorer, Gianna Ramirez.
Join here on the field with game-winning goal scorer Gianna Ramirez. Gianna, we were in this position a couple weeks ago. You tied the game-tying goal. What does this one feel like?
Obviously great. You know, it's our last game, so it feels awesome to get the win. And obviously having the winning goal means a lot. And yeah, I feel like we put in a lot of effort in this game, and we got the result that we wanted.
A light bench tonight. You had to play a ton of minutes. New head coach steps in, assistant coach Jed Bowman. How did that transition work out for you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Jed is a great coach. He always knows what he's doing, so having him on the bench, supporting us, getting us through this game was detrimental, and we couldn't have done it without him.
Like you mentioned, this may be the finale for you guys this season, but during this summer, is there something that you've learned or taken away from this time with the girls in blue?
Yeah, I mean, every time I step on the field, it's something different, but I never take the time I get to step on the field for granted, and I put my effort into everything, and I know the girls do too, so it means a lot.
Well, if you want to catch some more Gianna Ramirez, catch her at FAU playing for the Owls this season. Thank you for joining me, Gianna.
Yep.
All right, and thank you, Louis Lorandi, for that post-match interview down on the field after a big win for the girls in blue as they take it 2-1 tonight against the Seminole Ice. Let's take a look at your final stats, shall we? Here you go. 2 goals. That's the important stat. I always say it's the most important stat because look at the second one. Shots on goal, 9-4 in favor of the Seminole Ice, who had so many great opportunities, so many chances to go out there and take this one. And they score the first one, but after that, it is all Jacksonville Armada. A few yellow cards late, some offside calls throughout the course of this one. Plenty of offside calls throughout the course of this one. But in the end, it is the Jacksonville Armada claiming a huge 2-1 win. We'll have much more on Fleet and Footy coming up this Thursday at 2 o'clock as we'll recap what's happening in the WPSL. All right, that's going to do it for this broadcast on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Big thanks all regular season long to our entire production crew. Of course, Louis Lorandi, myself, Stuart Weber. Thank you so much for joining us on all of our Armada broadcasts. We'll see you for the playoff match for the boys in blue. That one's coming up on July 9th. That'll do it. From Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium, your Armada win it 2-1. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching Jacksonville Armada Soccer on Action Sports Jacks 24/7, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Tell them they can go in the food truck, but they can't eat it.
Right?
Oh, baby.
Oh, man.
That was
Thank God.
That was stressful.
It was.
It was very stressful. At least there weren't, too many offside calls or anything.
Same old, man.
For goodness gracious.
Same old.
Cushy, let me know when they're rolling back there. Tell them they don't need the super. I can add a super later.
How am I looking?
Sunburn. You got a little sunburn up there.
Yeah.
We are rolling.
Let me get a good white balance.
You can start on the ISO on me and then pull out to the 2.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
What am I calling you? Interim head coach or just assistant coach?
Assistant coach
Yeah.
is good. Maybe interim for the day.
Yeah.
Like seeing as the big boys out of town.
Yeah, that's right. All right, here we go. 3, 2, and... What a terrific way to end the regular season for the girls in blue. A dramatic 2-1 victory over the Seminole Ice to finish the regular season. Let's bring in assistant coach Jed Bowman, acting head coach for this one against Seminole. And what a performance by the ladies, really taking advantage of their opportunities. Didn't have nearly as many opportunities as Seminole did in this matchup, but the ones they did have, they took advantage.
Yeah, I thought we started really slow. In the away match, it was actually first game of the season, it seems so long ago now. In the away match, we had loads of the ball. And it looked like, credit to their head coach, it looks like he's worked hard with it throughout the season, and they looked a lot better on the ball. He had sustained possession and kept it away from us. They pressed us really well. In the second half, created way more chances, and when you create more chances, you've got more chance to score. But yeah, just really happy that we can finish it on a high, and can't wait for next year.
Yeah, maybe not so much focusing on the 2 matchups against Seminole, but over the course of this 8-match season, how have you seen this group really grow to the point here we are at the end of the year?
I think I mentioned it on the podcast, but it's really difficult to get what you want out of a group in such a short space of time, but it's the same for everyone. I try and encourage the girls to play not just for Armada, but play for themselves. Play for their family, and most importantly, play for the fans, because for a short space of time, some of them have only been here 2 months, when these guys have been around for 8, 9, 10, or however many years they've been here. So I'm just really happy that we have progressed from last year, and hopefully, if we have a better season than this year, that can only mean one thing. So I'm really looking forward to it next year.
And one last one for you. We talk about the way this lineup looked here tonight. A lot of veteran players, all the younger girls, all playing in the ECNL with the one old guy, Goffey, out there leading them. For these players that played tonight, this is one final springboard into those college seasons, and one last chance to really tune up for what are the really big matches for them when they get back on campus and try to play for their big-time college programs.
Yeah, we're trying to find that balance, because we know, I was in college myself, and I know how important it is to have a good summer, and it can't be all about Armada all the time. We have to look after these players if they're lodging heavy minutes. It's important that they get rest. It's important that maybe one day, if they need a day off, we can go, okay, have a day off and make sure you're here at the weekend. But no, I'm super happy for them. And there's so many standouts, and there's so many that are going to go into their college and just boss it. And not to mention the 3 international girls. 2 of them are going home and playing in, some of them playing in the 2nd division back home. So it's I'm really lucky to have spent my summer with a really talented group of players, a group of girls.
That is Jed Bowman, the former Flagler Saint, as well as Armada men's U-23 standout and acting coach for this matchup. 1-0 as acting coach this year. You like that?
I love that, man. More to come.
More to come. Jed Bowman, thank you so much. I'm Stuart Weber. Let's send it back to you. How's that, man?
Good, mate.
Good on you. So, we haven't seen anything on the other match. We don't know if they had a weather delay tonight, or
they probably did.
We think they did. We saw them dancing in the locker room premiere.
Okay.
But you probably know the scenario. We need West Florida to win and then lose.
Yeah.
So,
fingers crossed.
Who knows?
I don't know if the goals come into play, mate. They could get a result against. They are good enough to get a result. I'm telling you.
Who's that?
The Seminole.
They're not playing them though.
No, they are. Seminole.
Prime Time's playing them.
No, Seminole are playing
AGC.